Guns, immigration, civil rights, you might say the culture wars are back in our politics. This morning, Congress assembled for a rare joint meeting to hear an address by the Mexican President Felipe Calderon, an honor extended to very few international leaders and only ones considered to be friends of the United States. But what lawmakers got was a bit of a lecture on immigration and gun laws. Joining me now from San Diego is California Republican Congressman Brian Bilbray, and with me here in studio, Illinois Democratic Representative Luis Gutierrez, who's chairman of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Immigration Task Force. Gentlemen, I want you to listen first to some of what you heard from your guest. He said a lot of nice things about the relationship, a lot of positive things about the relationship, but he also sharply condemned the Arizona new state immigration law. Listen to this.
It is a law that not only ignores a reality that cannot be erased by decree, but also introduced a terrible idea using racial profiling as a basis for law enforcement.
That was one criticism of an action by one state in the United States. He also criticized the Congress, going back in history saying that when the federal assault weapons ban was allowed to expire, that is one of the reasons that guns are flowing, he says, across his border, contributing to the drug violence.
There is one issue where Mexico needs your cooperation, and that is stopping the flow of assault weapons and other deadly arms across the border. If you look carefully, you will notice that the violence in Mexico started to grow a couple of years before I took office in 2006. This coincides, at least, with the lifting of the assault weapons ban in 2004.
Congressman Bilbray, to you first. Is the Mexican president on Arizona immigration law saying that it's racial profiling, and he views it as an affront to his people, and he also thinks that you could help this drug war if we reinstate the assault weapons ban? Does he have a point?
No, he's missing the point, and I think, you know, I appreciate he's brave, he's taken on the drug cartels, but he's, you know, talking about Arizona, kind of disingenuous when Arizona has implemented a program that for years 63 other political subdivisions have adopted that policy here in the United States, and he hasn't read the bill. Of course, that I shouldn't point fingers at him. We have a lot of our people in our administration that's made the same mistake, and the issue of the gun issue is just like the immigration issue. You cannot continue to mix legal and illegal together. You've got to separate that. Our problem is the illegal immigration. Our problem is the legal gun sales. We need to focus on those, and by mixing the two together, you actually give the cartels and the smugglers the cover to be able to continue to hide on this. So, John, I think we got to say the fact is the president needs to read the laws, get the facts, but the thing is to blame the drug violence down south on the fact that semi-automatic weapons are being sold legally in the United States is absurd. We all know these are illegal drug activity and illegal immigration activity and illegal gun activity, and that's where Mexico and America should focus on, like we've done with the Merida Initiative.
Who's right? Your colleague from California or the President of Mexico?
I think, let's put in context what the President of Mexico said today. He said that he has put his civil forces, his military forces, and as my colleague in San Diego said, he's very brave and very courageous. He's taking on the drug cartels. And what he said is, can you help? There's two different fronts. He said 75,000 arms have been captured from the drug cartel, 25,000 a year. And he says 80% of them are coming from the United States. Can you help me? There's 7,000 points along the border where guns are sold. He said, can you help? He had a suggestion. I think we should respond to someone who says that is our common border. He also said, look, there's a consumption of drugs in the United States also. We need to work in a bilateral because the people that win are the drug cartels when we don't coordinate our efforts.
Well, is there any agreement between the two of you to the point, I know you disagree on the gun control issue, you disagree on the Arizona law. What about if you want to help the President of Mexico? What about in the short term? Do border security, beef up security along the border. Would you agree to do that if Congressman Bilbray would agree next, once that is done, maybe after the election, in a less emotional lame duck session of Congress, have a conversation about the broader bill you want that includes a guest worker program and some path to status for those who are here illegally? Yeah. Could we break it in two and maybe lower the volume?
Here's my response. Absolutely, we should control that border. We should do everything we can as Americans to control that border. But look, let's separate. The person who's entering through that border to raise our kids or pick our fruit or I don't know, wash dishes or make our beds in hotels, they're not a real threat. The real threat are the members of the drug cartel.
But they're breaking the law. I'm not saying they're a threat.
I'm not saying they separate the real criminal element and the real threat to our society from those that really have come here to look for a better future. Yes, breaking the law. But let's look at the real threat to our society, both civilian and to our children and to our future. So yes, I want to have that conversation. I believe in a holistic approach. I know that there were 10,000 Border Patrol agents 8 years ago. There are 20,000 today. We're increasing. We are putting more. So I believe in security and putting more security. But I also believe that until you deal with the 12 million people that are here, that Mr. Bilbray, and no one's given an answer. What do we do with the 12 million that are here and the millions of American citizen children?
Mr. Bilbray, what do we do?
Luis, you and I know that one thing we can agree on that does address the 12 million here illegal is focus on the true problem and go after the illegal employers who are exploiting the illegal immigrants and creating the crisis at the border. And it's not at the border. You and I should be able to get together with things like Keith Schuler's SAVE Act, go after the illegal employers, shut off the source of illegal immigration. The problem isn't at the border. It's in the neighborhoods where illegals are being hired by illegal employers.
And I will tell my
you and I should be able to join with that and do that first.
And I just want to agree with him real quickly. Yeah, let's do that. Let's then illegal immigration. We do have to go after the employers. We need an ID. I got a driver's license. I got a passport. It's got a picture. So in my social security card. So if people really listen, they'd find that Democrats are for enforcement and for the protection and the rule of law. But let's face it. What are we going to do with the 12 million that are here? What's fair and what's
I'm going to give Congressman Bilbray a quick last word, and we'll continue the conversation another night. But go ahead, sir.
The first thing you don't do is reward those illegal employers with a steady supply of those illegal immigrants by giving them amnesty so they can stay and work for the people that have created the problem, the exploitive employers. So amnesty is a non-starter when it comes down to addressing the problem, because what you'll do is tell the world you're going to now subsidize illegal employers with this labor by calling it amnesty or nationalization or whatever you want to talk. We've got to stop rewarding the employers, and Luis's amnesty program does that. So let's focus on stopping illegal employment, and then we'll take care of it.
Way. So look, I'm for all the enforcement. Can we agree on what we do with the undocumented?
I don't think we're going to agree tonight, but we will continue the conversation. Congressman Gutierrez, thank you so much.
John.
Congressman Bilbray, appreciate your coming in from San Diego.